Hey, it's Austin James. If you're like me, trying to live your best life while living with diabetes, you can relate to worrying if you're doing a good job managing your diabetes. I use the Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor to get real-time glucose readings and see the impact of every meal and activity to make better decisions. The Freestyle Libre 3 Plus sensor can help me live life with diabetes on my own terms, and it gives me more time for the things I love, like being a dad and a musician. Now this is progress. Learn more at freestylelibre.us.
For prescription only. Safety info found at freestylelibre.us.
Whether you're ordering wings for the game, whipping up a 7-layer dip, or ordering pizza, there's something about football that makes you want to eat. And this football season, Uber Eats has the best deals on game day food. No matter what you're craving, from 2-for-1 pizza to buy one, get one wings, Uber Eats will be dropping new deals each week, all season long. Uber Eats, official on-demand delivery partner of the NFL. Order now. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Welcome back to Rams Up, your favorite LA Rams podcast. We are part of the Fans First Sports Network. You can follow us on our YouTube channel as well at LA Rams Up. I'm your host, Mark. I'll be joined occasionally by my football gurus, Paul and Ian. Let's get to it. Hey, what's going on, Ram fans? Got Ian and Paul here. The Rams coming off their bye week, and we're going to talk a bunch of Ram stuff and then get into the Ram Raider game. Hey, Paul, what's going on? Sporting the Dodger hat. I like it.
Big hits and big rings, baby. Kike October, baby. It's a Kike October. He's been getting it done.
Yeah, and maybe by the time some folks view this, he'll have another dinger. Wouldn't that be nice? Still a little ways to go here in this game. What's going on, Ian?
Doing good, gentlemen. Like we said the last time we were together, we hope the Dodgers' winning ways can somehow get in the LA atmosphere and sprinkle down onto the Rams and start getting some victories here. And I hope that's the case. And it's been a good bye week. You know, it's less stress in the football universe for once. That's been nice, right? Dodger stress is a different type of thing going on, but hopefully everyone out there enjoyed the bye week, enjoyed not having to worry about Rams football being good or bad, and hopefully the players and the coaching staff and the whole organization as a whole feels that way and is ready to start winning some damn ball games.
Hey, I think the first thing we should do is we have some injury updates, right? What do you have on that, Ian? I know Cooper. You had some news on Cooper Kupp. What's going on with him?
Yeah, shout out to Jordan Rodriguez. More McVay on Kupp. Excuse me. There's a possibility that he'll play, but we'll see how it goes today. He's trending in the right direction, but we'll see exactly what that means as the week progresses. As Cooper Kupp will do individual drills with the team, but not participate in the full practice. So that's pretty nice, right? He had his individual one-on-one workout with Reggie Scott to see where that high ankle sprain was. And for him to be back after 4 weeks and running around pretty good, as this video is showing here, where he's, look at that. I mean, is it 100% full speed, all your might? No. But for him to run around, you see the breakdown in his feet. He doesn't look like he's wincing. Doesn't look like it's any issue. I think that's a good sign that he will be around to play this week. And if not this week, which we need him, let's just be honest, at least the Thursday game against a good Vikings defense, he'll for sure be available. So good news. The high ankle sprain wasn't terrible where he needed tightrope surgery like he did in 2022 where it was so bad. So, again, for him to have an high ankle and for him to be coming back after 4 weeks and running around pretty clean, that is what's the word I want to say? An ankle miracle, I guess, which is good. So that's number one on the board for injury fronts. And then also, speaking of just injuries and stuff, Joe Noteboom is returning to practice from IR after he got, severely injured in that week 1 showdown with the Lions on Sunday night. So if he's able to play, that'd be good. I mean, respect to Logan Bruss having some good moments, but he got his ass kicked a ton since he's been starting. There was some bad moments against the Packers game. I mean, there was some really, really bad moments. So having Joe Noteboom possibly returning to play left guard and be slided in there will be an upgrade, no doubt about it. And again, we need as many people on deck to start reeling off victories. So Cup, good news. Noteboom practicing, good news. And hey, Xavier Smith, your dude, Paul. He's finally on the team that we all wanted, right? He earned that full-time punt return job. So it's like, hey, can we just get him on the roster instead of having to worry about, oh, is he going to get stolen off the practice squad or whatever else you're worried about? No more worries. He's on the team. He'll be returning punts full-time with no worries of him getting stolen off our practice squad to another team. So that's good news too. But injury-wise, other than that, Winnington limited. We got other guys. Raiders have a ton of banged up dudes not practicing or limited participants. But again, this is the Wednesday report. I expect a lot of those Raider guys to play and our guys to hopefully suit up and play as well. But didn't mean to cut you off there. Sorry.
No, I was just going to say, if I'm not mistaken, the Rams had to add Xavier Smith to the roster. I don't think they could move him up from the practice squad. Maybe one more time, but
yeah,
it was imminent. Hey, so Paul, you were saying before we got started here, you think you're on the fence on whether the Rams should even play Cup?
Yeah, this is a short turnaround week. They have Minnesota, I think, Thursday night. So, he's back at practice. I would say give him another week. You're not to take nothing away from the Raiders. You have to respect every team you play. But, the Raiders are, they've lost a lot of momentum, obviously, with the trade. They're playing banged up offensively. I mean, I think, you try to win this game with what you have rather than try to force it. And if on Thursday, I would slate Cup to start that game or at least play in that game. Maybe ease him into the red zone, that type of thing. Just gradually phase him in because you want him for the long run, right? So you want to turn the season around. You really need him for the long run. His leadership is going to be absolutely essential, particularly on third downs. The Rams have really struggled in the red zone, and third downs. The efficiency of this team will go through the roof once he's back, even if it's in a limited capacity.
Yeah, I think red zone usage would be ideal for this game, and hopefully the Rams can get away. Again, I don't want to totally dismiss the Raiders. You have to respect all your opponents, like you said, but if we could get out of this game with limited use of Cup and a W, that would be ideal for sure. So, Ian, there was a press conference. Sean McVay had a press conference suggesting that we might see some more changes as far as the starters go. I could take a guess on who a few of them might be that might be getting benched. So have your ear to the wind on that, or any guesses on what those changes might be?
Yeah. Again, respect to Jordan Rodriguez of The Athletic. She likes to pry in a professional way, which is good. So we start to, McVay, if you lead him down a path, he usually does reveal some things about what's going on with him, the team, or everything all combined in one. So in this last press conference that he had prior to the practices starting, Jordan had asked him, hey, are there any other, what have you evaluated during the bye? And are there any other personnel moves that you're anticipating, unveiling it unraveling into this week's game and for the future? And he said, well, we're looking at everything, and you could expect things on offense, you could expect things on defense. And then Jordan did pry and say, hey, anything to the secondary, the linebacker group. And he's like, oh, everything's on the table and you will see changes. So that's a coach speak of saying, yeah, people are getting benched and other people are getting opportunities. So who's getting benched to what we have here presented to you guys tuning in. And again, thanks everybody watching on YouTube and listening there. But if you're on any podcast network, we respect that. And thank you for that too. It just makes me chuckle reading that who's getting benched because it's the truth. It's unfortunate. We've had Roseboom, who has had bad, terrible moments. Cameron Kitchens already got benched. Trey White already had got benched. Readers had terrible moments. Guys on offense look sporadic and get moved around. So to your question, who is getting moved? I mean, it's got to start with the linebackers, right, gentlemen? Rams Nation? Do we finally get to see preseason standout Omar Speights? I hope so. Please show us the young undrafted rookie who was a tackling machine. And whoever cares about PFF out there, if that carries a lot of weight, he was the highest graded defender in all preseason. I mean, I get it. Backups, third stringers, guys aren't going to make the roster. But hey, if you're one of the best guys out there, I mean, you deserve some action at this point with our linebacker crew playing so poorly. So I hope to see him. And I hope to see even Jake Hummel get a chance. Now, will it be both of them? I'll be shocked to see that, but I do expect one of the linebackers to get canned. Will it be Reader? Maybe. I don't think so because he has the green dot and he is the signal caller. But I do anticipate Roseboom losing his job and maybe Omar getting some action there. Definitely that spot. But
hey, Paul, you're thinking maybe Bobby Brown as well?
Yeah, so at the interview, there were 3 people by name. So number 1, McVay said he liked the way the cornerback rotation played out. He cited Kobe Durant. He cited D-Will. He said, we're going to go with that. So that means probably you're going to see Witherspoon, Durant, D-Will in some combination, whatever that may be. So it's going to be interesting who they decide to play at star, because he also said he's going to leave Lake at safety. So he came out and said that. So that was great. Right. It's going to be interesting how that plays out. But I do agree. I think Curl is a much better player when he's closer to the LOS than playing deep center field. We definitely saw that. There's no question there. And then he mentioned Omar. He didn't say in what capacity. He mentioned Omar. And then he talked about competition and rotation. So meaning either he's going to try to mix Omar in. So I think it's time. Omar needs to get in the game. There's no question about it. They need some type of spark. They need something at that second level, somebody who's going to run and hit. I still believe a lot of that is schemed. The way that whole defense is schemed up is just an absolute disaster. But that's, at this point of the season, you can't, revamp the entire D. So you got to pick like where you're going to start, filling in the spackle. So I think that's probably the most intuitive spot would try to be at the linebacker spot. Up front, I mean, I'm surprised. I'm really, really surprised that I thought in this week, we're at Wednesday almost already. And we're here at Wednesday, I should say. And I was really surprised it didn't make even like a small move to acquire somebody. You don't have to make a big splash move, but somebody, a veteran somewhere along the line to bring in on that D line, a solid run stuffer.
Something like the Seahawks did.
Yeah, I mean,
they traded for
from the kid from Jacksonville.
Right.
So something up front, just somebody that could play 3 downs consistently. But like I said, last roundtable, I think the addition of Jonah Williams, and now you have a full rotation of players. I think that's going to make a big difference. But we'll see how it plays out. I think, moving forward, I think we're going to see much more of T. Davis in the rotation as well as Jonah Williams. That's going to keep bodies fresh a little bit longer. And I think that's going to be very, very significant for the stretch run. But they still have time, right? They still have time if they want to bring. I don't think they're going to do something super, super flashy, but a nice blue collar lunch pail D tackle would be very welcome on this D.
Yeah, I think they'd be more likely to make a trade if they got to 2 and 4 as opposed to, dare I say, 1 and 5. At 1 and 5, what's the point, really? I hate to say it, but hey, Paul, would this be a good time to roll into you've been dying to share these building blocks that you prepared for us that you think the Rams need to, I'll let you walk through this. What are you getting at with this slide here? The things that the Rams need to do to get back on the road to success, to get back to who they used to be?
Yeah, so I mean, first of all, shout out to JB Long. That was a great interview with Coach McVay. Really nicely done. He does a great job. Literally, every segment JB Long does, you just see him getting better and better. So the first thing I want to jump on is what McVay said. He said we're going to come out swinging, and he said 3 of those games those were 1 possession games, and that was our point at the last roundtable, right? We were like full speed ahead. The season is definitely salvageable. Get yourself into the big dance and let's see what happens. So these are just some building blocks, as they say in the NFL. You got to start stacking blocks. You got to find somewhere to build. And the Rams have a lot of really good, solid building blocks for which to build upon. The first one is the power ground game. You just can't get away from it. We can't keep making these excuses. Coach McVay said we're going to come out swinging. Well, if you're going to come out swinging, then it's got to be the ground game. Don't come out swinging and then throw the ball 51 times and get Stafford creamed. Read between the lines. Stafford's auditioning for TV jobs. He's trying to send you a message, Coach.
Real quick, before you continue, golly, I'm worried about that with him doing that during the bye week. Again, I'm not saying he's got to be face planted in the playbook, but him doing that on the bye week, I mean, and he said recently on Kelly Stafford's pod that she has herself, well, we'll get little tidbits into the Stafford household. He said, hey, that's something I really would like to do after my playing days are over. So for that to be on his mind after not a couple of months ago, he was like, man, I hope to be here for another 2-3 years. I mean, things change fast, Rams Nation. We got to start winning some ball games and stop getting Stafford his ass kicked behind there and getting hit and sacked a ton. Well, this dude's going to leave away with a lot of good football years left, and I'm worried about that anyway. Just since you brought that up, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah. Well, that was my point at the last roundtable. They've learned nothing from the Aaron Donald debacle. They have learned nothing. They're going down that same road again. Watch. You can pick any game in random, Ram Nation. You're going to see Stafford take some wicked hits. You just can't do that. You got to this guy's telling you, I'm willing to play for another 3 years, and you're throwing him to the wolves, right? So, but that's up to the coaching staff. They got to wake up and realize that. So they got to lean on the ground game. He did say that he's going to start playing Blake, that Blake is definitely going to be in there more. He said that at the interview. So that put a big smile on my face. So between Kyron and Blake and Rivers, I mean, you got a ground game. I mean, that's going to be there. That's a constant. It's going to be there. It's plug and play. You have that at any time you want it. So they sort of have to make that a constant now in every game, is that the presence of that ground game is there, particularly in the red zone. And watch that red zone efficiency numbers go up very, very quickly. So that segues to my next point. You got to use them in the red zone. 6 of the 9 offensive TDs came on the ground. That's basically telling you what's working. Stick with what's working. That ground game is going to be electric. You're going to get many, many more big runs. The frequency of big runs are going to go up exponentially. And I was reading a lot of the comments over the week off. And I got to say, I think people forget about the running game. The running game is like Novocaine. Give it time, right? You can't expect the running game. The running game is about body blow, and then take it to the house. That's how it works. You have to stay with it. And that's how you get the big runs out of the ground game. So that stat that they were throwing up about Kyron Williams, not being able to break off big runs, and that's not the case. He's wearing defenses down. He's just not getting the ball in those situations where he can, break it off for a long run. But I think the combination of Kyron and Blake, I think, is going to be very, very effective, and I think it's going to keep defenses honest. The Rams have been playing against a ton of light boxes. I think that stat that came up during the bye week, I think is something we've been talking about for the last 5 weeks. We said they are running against light boxes, and you see it when they do run. It's very effective because teams are just sitting back. They're throwing extra defenders. They're just dropping back. They're daring McVay to run. That's what they're doing. The story of the first 5 games of this season is the NFL saying, we dare you to run. And McVay saying, well, just to spite the NFL, he's going to throw into the teeth of that defense. It's not going to work, especially when you don't have your top 2 receivers. So
and I think the article I read also said that they're willing to let the Rams run down the field.
That's
and
right.
knowing that they're going to stall in the red zone. We're going to be able to stop you in the red zone. So go ahead, have your 6 and 7 yard runs, have at it, but you're not going to score.
Yep, and that's the modus operandi since the Super Bowl, when they were mic'd up and they caught the Bengals. When they called Zach Attack, was like, he's going to give up on the run. He's going to give up on the run, and then you heard McVay say it into the mic. So I mean, the NFL, you're talking. These guys know football. They picked up on that, and that's been the sort of the MO ever since. They got to be more aggressive with that three outside linebacker set. It definitely. I went back. I watched it. It looked amazing. They could run it out of the nickel. They're running it out of the dime right now, but they could run it out of the nickel and the dime. But the key is, we talked about that at the roundtable last time. You got to be able to hold up on first down and second down. You can't go into these third and expected dudes are going to run on you. So. But I think that three outline that OLB setup is going to be I think it's going to salvage their season. It really is on defense. It's the only way they are going to get to the quarterback and get sacks. But it's also a nice way to disrupt the running game by getting penetration, because they're not getting penetration from the interior otherwise. The coverages, obviously they're going to stick with their 3 and 6. It's not a problem. They definitely have the personnel for it. I think now that they're healthier on the back end, I think that's going to improve dramatically. I think the biggest shift is going to be if they start getting consistent pressure, which is sacks. That's a very misleading stat when people start throwing out, well, this player's got X number of defensive pressures. But when you look at it as a whole, they're not getting to the quarterback, right? They're in the bottom quarter of the NFL in sacks. So they're not getting to the quarterbacks. That's a very misleading stat. But I think where you're going to see the greatest improvement is when they run their man one, and they actually did run some man two coverage, which one of my favorite defenses you don't see a lot of is the cover two man. The Saints run a lot of that, but they did run that a couple of times. But I think their man coverage setup is going to improve dramatically now with the way they have their backfield reconfigured. And then build upon the special teams, juice up that return game. You got X-Men back, put Rivers full time on the kick return. I think let that be your constant. You have that contribution from special teams. I think that's really, really important. And shout out to Coach McVay. He shouted out his punter during an interview. There you go. I mean, that's it. The underappreciated phase of the game. He shouted out his punter and Kid Cardi. So that was fantastic. And then, like I said, you got to use Spates and Davis a little bit more. I know they're young, but you got to let them play because they're willing to hit. At this point, they're willing to fly to the ball and they're willing to hit. And I still think either it's got to be I don't think they're going to go linebacker, but I do think either or both. I think if they can bring in a veteran nose tackle or an inside linebacker, I think it's going to pay huge, huge dividends. And listen, this is a perfect segue. So with all that payroll, we're watching Tommy Tanks, right? We're watching Edmund blow it up, right, for the Dodgers, right? Right, when we got the Showtime on there. But Edmund's the one that's catching fire right now. That's what you need, a blue-collar inside linebacker or a nose tackle that's just willing. Ashawn, man. Where is Ashawn when you need him? So that's what they need to do. They need to get somebody who's willing to get dirty, willing to get nasty in between the tackles. And I think they can build upon that. And I think this season's going to look completely different moving forward.
Yeah, good stuff, Paul. I know you've been meaning to get that off of your chest for a few weeks. So, what just happened? A 3-run homer. Ohtani finally comes through. I'm sorry if am I ahead of you guys? Hopefully I'm not.
No, I haven't. I've been trying to just stay true to Rams up right now. But finally, Jesus, I know he's had a woes, but we're the villains, right? LA, that's just how we roll, and we'll oh well, keep winning. Please, Rams, just get some of that in the air. Cradle it, pocket it, take it with you on Sunday afternoon at SoFi, and catch these winning ways, please. That's all I ask.
Yeah.
But,
hey, so Ian, yeah, it's hard to stay on track with this in the background, but good stuff. So we were talking a little bit before the game. No Josh Jacobs, no Devontae Adams. And, in past years,
Wilkins on IR too. I mean, they're missing a lot of guys, dude.
Yeah, but they do have a few guys we need to be aware of. You want to talk us through I think you had 3 guys in mind, especially, right?
Yeah. I mean, who are the 3 best players? And I'm sure, everyone has a 3, but I think this is universally accepted for us right now. Max Crosby, right? He's an all-pro. He's an Aaron Donald fan. He loves to play relentless, fiery, chippy, aggressive, crap talker, all the Raider things that make him, a throwback player per se, right? Someone who would fit in any era, no matter what year it is. Crosby's that guy. He's a beast. If we don't handle him, we're going to get screwed over, and it's going to be a crappy day on offense. No doubt about it. He's one of their best players. The next best player who is on the Raiders, obviously a lot of people have left trades, free agency, whatever else. No doubt about it. Tight end rookie Brock Bowers. And this is somebody, Sean McVay was incredibly disappointed and borderline sad and angry about that we weren't able to trade up and get him. Dude has been fantastic in the film that I've watched on him. You can obviously highlight his stuff and it's pretty fantastic, but then what does he do without the ball in his hands? He blocks pretty well. He's very disruptive in the passing game. When he's not getting the ball, people are, shading their coverage to him because he's such a difference maker. If we can't contain him, which, he'll attack the middle of the field, linebackers, which we're not the best at. He can match up one-on-one with corners and safeties. He's bigger and stronger. That's an issue. He's one of their best players right now, no doubt about it. And this third player, I know many people might not universally agree, depending on who you view, but I think their defensive back corner, Jack Jones, is one of their best players right now currently as well. Has some of the most pass breakups on the team, has some of the best man coverage skills on the team, and he is a difference maker for them right now on defense. Now, is their defense completely full and complete? Are there issues? Of course there are, but no doubt about it, he is one of their current best players right now. Of course, no more Devontae Adams, no Christian Wilkins, their big free agent signing, as he is on injured reserve, and the quarterback situation is a mess, and other things are not going well for them. But I think here in Rams Up, we agree that these three are their best players currently that we have to account for, watch out for, and we have to make sure we neutralize them as best as possible.
Yeah, especially after what the Packer tight end did to us last time out. Brock Bowers. Seems like we get hurt by tight ends a lot more than disproportionately so, I should say.
And this sets up like the Bears game, right? If they come out flat again, this is going to set up just like the Bears game. So they took the Bears way too lightly, right? The Bears came up and found a way to get pressure, and it really changed the momentum of that game. This game is setting up just like the Bears game. If they do not come out and take an early lead and take command of this game from like the kickoff, it's that simple, right? The Rams have to understand they are at the bottom of the league when it comes to defense against both the run and the pass. They are also last in the NFC in points scored. So you're going to keep everybody in the game with those numbers. There's no such thing as a runaway game when you're throwing up those numbers. The Tucker Kraft, listen, I shouted out Tucker Kraft. He blew up in that Green Bay game. You can just see it. You got another physical tight end, right, that knows how to catch and yak, right, against that second level of linebackers. So there is a matchup here. I don't care who's throwing the ball. If you're not going to tackle, this is where it's going to get exploited. Those tight ends are going to chew you up. So this is possibly another big game for another tight end. And this has happened every game moving through. The Rams better be awake, and they better scheme it so that he does not get off that line clean, right? And you need more than just a chip. You better jam him strong or send somebody on his side that they're forced to keep him in and block, right? Otherwise, he's just going to run free. And the way the Rams are tackling, this is a big kid. This kid knows how to play football. This is a Georgia kid, right?
He's good. Yeah.
Yeah. So this game is setting up a lot like the Bears. The first 15 minutes of this game is going to tell you the outcome of this game.
And it is going to be Aiden O'Connell, correct?
Yeah.
As far as we know.
Yeah, he's slated to start.
Which, I think he's worse than Gardner Minshew, so that's better for us.
Yeah. Hey, Paul, check out this list. I think you'll like it. Some familiar names: Brock Bowers, Jackson Powers Johnson, Tommy Eichenberg, Dylan Lobb. Is it Lobb or Lobby?
Yep, from Long Island. Yeah.
Trey Taylor, MJ Devonshire. That's 6 of their draft picks, and I think we talked about all of them except for maybe Eichenberg in your Puka Power Pick segment.
Puka Power Pick.
I mean, Brock Bowers wasn't. He was an obvious first-round pick, but the other guys, I think you liked every one of them. And now the only one that's starting out of these 2024 draft picks is Brock Bowers. But there's time though. I think some of these guys. I'm surprised that Jackson Powers Johnson hasn't earned a starting job But
JPJ, yeah.
yeah,
Dude is a beast. Dude
yeah.
is a beast. They drafted well. That's actually a good draft for them. They have a lot of they're building their roster depth. They don't have, they're splash players, right? That was a huge trade, but we'll see. Raider faithful. They're no matter what you do, they're not going anywhere. They're going to have a following wherever they go.
So we want to get into hey, you want to get into the stats that you start talking about the Rams Raiders game specifically, Ian? You put together some nice stats I can share with you here. We're not going to walk through every one of these stats here, but just share them with you. This is the Raiders offense versus the Rams defense. And I think basically, Ian, what these stats tell us is you would think it's maybe going to be a low scoring game to an offense that is really strong. Well, the Rams defense, maybe they are vulnerable even against this offense. I don't know. What are you thinking?
Yeah. If the Rams defense cannot have an at least decent day against this Raiders offense, we just flat out suck. I'm sorry. Based on game film, based on the stats here in front of you, everyone, and feel free to pause it and have a quick little rundown of going through it. Again, Raiders offense is the left stat, Rams defense is the right stat, which is so that helps you figure it out. And again, Raiders offense isn't good, whether it's been Minshew, who I think is better than O'Connell, whether it's been O'Connell, this team has just not been good. And I think the main thing is the turnovers. Raiders have turned the ball over the most in the NFL so far this season. Rams are near the bottom of getting turnovers. This is the game to get O'Connell throwing a pass inaccurately, snag one, steal an extra possession, and to finally just get some good positive momentum for this team to be able to score more points. I think that's the main thing is, can you get O'Connell? Can you get the running backs to fumble, cause a turnover? Because this Raiders offense turns the ball over like none other. Number one in the NFL. So I think that's the main thing. And every other stat were pretty close in comparison to teams that are just not very good on those respective sides of the balls. But turnovers, get a damn turnover against this team who is not good on offense. And I think we'll be able to win this game if we do so. But I think that's the main thing. Raiders offense versus Rams defense. What about you, gentlemen?
Yeah, I think the TOD, the turnover differential, is speaks volumes. So the Raiders are negative double digits. So you have to force them. You have to force their hand. You have to go after this quarterback. You have to go after them early. You have to force those mistakes. You have the luxury of your own ground game and an offense that has the capacity to come to life and put up points. But also you have to call a smart game. McVay has to call a smart game, right? Don't put yourself into those situations. Take your shots. There's no question about it. But use your field position to your advantage. There's no reason taking a chance when you're at your 12. You're good enough that you can get yourself into a more, if you want to say, a safer scenario, and then take your shots downfield. But the tail of the tape here is going to be the Rams' ability to establish their ground game, and on defense, their ability to get turnovers.
So who would Aiden O'Connell compare to as far as his mobility and pocket presence and all that good stuff? I haven't seen a lot of him myself.
He can move around, but he's not like the mobile quarterbacks we've been getting screwed by this whole season so far. So that's a plus. And on top of that, I mean, another quick little major stat, quarterback sacks. The Raiders have given up the 5th most thus far this season. Obviously, we're near the bottom, so that's a favorable matchup on our end. So it's get to the quarterback, pressure him, bring him to the ground, and cause him to throw interceptions and turn the ball over. And that's it. And hold them out of the red zone, because you can see here, everybody, they're the 7th best in the NFL of scoring touchdowns was again the red zone. Our defense is near the bottom, unfortunately, and a lot of stuff. So that's the key. It's just we got to get those turnovers on defense, and if we can, then we should win this game. But games have screwed us. But if we can't get any turnovers, it's going to be another nail biter yet again at SoFi.
Yeah, the next 2 quarterbacks actually, we get Sam Darnold next. That'll be a nice change compared to the Jordan Loves and Caleb Williams of the world, Kyler Murray, and so on. So that'll be nice. Maybe we will actually rack up some sacks finally. Now, and for you those folks listening on the podcast, I apologize. Obviously, you can't see these stats, but the gist of it is Raiders offense bad, Rams defense bad, and the Rams are just in a good position though because the Raiders obviously losing Devontae Adams, just not a lot of weapons there. So if this is a game their defense is going to step up, that this is it. And now we get to the Rams offense versus the Raiders defense, and kind of similar situation, Ian.
Yeah, in the same kind of vein, two teams that are just kind of equal in pretty much every stat. I think the main thing that benefits of is that the Raiders cannot get any turnovers. They're literally the worst defense in getting turnovers right now, and unfortunately, fortunately, we are not near the top of turnovers, so we haven't turned the ball over much. We just got to continue to keep the ball safe. No running back fumble, no desperate decision by Matthew Stafford. And if we take care of the football, we should be able to get things going on offense. But I think the main thing here is that stands out is that the Raiders, their pass defense is pretty dang solid. They're ranked 7th in the NFL right now. And yes, we are ranked 12th in terms of throwing the ball, but I think that's a bad matchup. This plays into what we've been screaming on this damn podcast for years. It feels like it's like stick with the run. And just like what Paul said earlier with his, the keys to building blocks of winning games, run the damn football. Because if we get in this pass happy situation, we are playing into what the Raiders do well, which is covering the pass, right? We said Jack Jones, Crosby's able to pin his ears back. That statement people like to say where it's like, all right, I don't have to worry about the run. Let's just go get the quarterback. Where we be playing into their hands of how they want to win that game defensively. So run the ball. Make sure you stay committed. And yes, we're 27th in rushing per game, but that's not because we can't do it. It's because we just choose not to do it enough. And they're near the bottom of defending the run. So everything is set up there. Run the ball. Don't play into their hands of passing all game. And we should be able to make things happen because their red zone defense isn't great. The rushing defense isn't great. They've given up some of the most points in the NFL. They're ranked 27th right now out of 32. So this defense could be had, but we just cannot morph into throwing the ball all day, every day, just because the rush doesn't work a couple plays here and there. The McVay special, the run didn't work here and there. Let's just throw it with Matthew Stafford. No, that's how we have to win the game. Run the damn ball. What about you, gentlemen?
Yeah, take a page out of the Dodgers playbook for now, right? Play with an edge. The reason the Dodgers are playing the way they are, they're playing with an edge, man. You see it. That bullpen, they're just coming out throwing straight gas. That's what the Rams got to do. I think they've lost their edge a little bit, right? They just got to regain that fire, physicality, and efficiency. This team's got enough talent on this roster. You could look at this roster, right? Forget about them getting fully healthy, but you got enough talent on this roster, you can win football games. But it's football. You got to play physical. You got to win the point of attack on both sides of the line of scrimmage. You cannot get pushed off the ball. Let your O-line mash it up a little bit. Let your D-line get after it. This is a great game. Get your 3 outside linebackers. I went back and I watched, Monster Zero, Byron Young, BY has just been playing lights out. Move him around. Let him find his spots. Let him get after the quarterback. He leads the team in sacks. He leads the team in TFL with Verse. Move Jared around. Let them get after it, man. So you got to find a way to really instill that fire into this defense again, because they have enough there. If you look at what they have with Fisk and Kobe Turner, move those guys around, play like a 3-3 type of setup on pass downs. Let them get after it, man. This defense should be a lot better than these numbers are basically reading. We have to do a better job on that side of the ball. The Rams have to find a way to get the fire ignited on that side of the ball. And on offense, they got to score points. In the red zone, they really just got to dial it up. Like the famous line, Spinal Tap reference, turn it up to 11, baby. Crank it up. Just go after these teams, right? Make them pay for, daring you to pass, make them pay for that. Hit them right in the middle, punch them right in the gut. And this game will be over quick.
Yeah, for me, the keys are kind of what we've been harping on all along. Just touchdowns, baby. Just got to score touchdowns. And we just seem like we get inside the 15-yard line and you just get this sinking feeling. We can't run it in, or we decide not to. And our Stafford and his receivers and tight ends in the end zone, I don't want to say pathetic, but it hasn't been real good. But I also think that in this game, they just need to play a clean game. Yeah, they don't need to convert every red zone opportunity into touchdowns. One or two would be nice. No devastating fumbles, no horrible penalties, no 70-yard pass plays. Someone gashing us for easy touchdowns. Just play a clean, fundamentally sound football game, and they'll come out of this with a win, I think.
I hope so. Dang it. I mean, we lose this game. I mean, everyone's saying, "Oh, this season's a disaster already," and we haven't hit rock bottom yet. And I think losing to the Raiders, who are missing tons of, the receiver hated it so much he wanted to leave, team up with his old homie Wilkins. Their big free agent is hurt. They don't have a legit quarterback right now. I mean, I do like Minshew overall, but anyone who plays quarterback for the Raiders, it doesn't go well. Let's just be real about it. And there's a lot of things setting up for us to win this damn game. Now, I do understand that this is not going to be another home game for the Rams, and it's really unfortunate it's laid out this way with the schedule. I'm sure the rookies are like, do we ever get a real home game? Niners, a lot of 49er fans. Packers, tons of Packer fans. Raiders in LA, that's going to be overrun with Raider fans. That's tough, man. And McVay alluded to, like, hey, well, we're used to the silent count. It won't be an issue, which cool, but damn, I can't believe it's going to be that way. We're already midway through the season almost. So I get it. That'll be a factor, but you got to win this damn game. You have to. Or rock bottom is coming, everybody. And you're worried about, Matthew Stafford trade here, a cup trade there. All those things will be on the table with a loss on Sunday. Let's not kid ourselves.
I think Max Muncy just hit a home run, and I think I heard it fly by my house. He hit that thing a mile. Jesus.
Mad Max is back.
Yeah. The thing about the Raiders is the Raider fans you're talking about, and I always joke about this, and maybe it's not valid, but I think it's kind of funny anyways. I mean, if the Packers are in town and they're 2-4 or 2-5, maybe there's not a big Packer crowd out there, but Raider fans are kind of delusional, right? They're going to show up and act like they're in an AFC championship game. Everything's on the table for them. It doesn't matter how bad their team is. So they're probably going to show up regardless. But
I love the fact that we have that short turnaround, because I think it's going to help the Rams. If the Rams can look, they got to respect everybody on their schedule moving forward, right? I think that's the bottom line, right? They're in no position to look down on any team, but I think it's going to help them, right? Because they really have to scratch and claw their way to get back to 500. The short turnaround, I think it's the best thing, and I'm sure Coach McVay feels the way. Right after this game, get back to playing football, right? Find out what you did well on Sunday, go over it, highlight it, put in another wrinkle. Not to look past the Raiders, but to look ahead. You're playing a very balanced team, and Flores has that defense, man. Wow, Ram Nation, that defense, they're running a lot of cover zero, cover one looks. They're running like some zone blitz schemes. Man, it looks gorgeous when you watch it. If you're a fan of defense, when we get to that preview, it's going to be a lot of fun. But this is a nice way to get yourself back to respectability. These two games, I think, are going to work out really well for the Rams, because I think this short week is going to help them tremendously.
Yeah, I think Flores was running that Dolphins defense that just destroyed the Rams, right? A few years back.
Yeah.
So do we want to get into some predictions, Ian?
Yeah. I mean, gentlemen, here's the fateful time of the episode where we all share whether they think the Rams are going to win or going to lose. And I'll start first. And look it. I know I've had fun little debates online with people about my fandom and whether I'm a true Rams fan right now because I picked them to lose a bunch, and I got to keep it real with everybody. If I don't feel like this team is playing good ball, how can I pick them to win? And so forth. I have not seen it. And with that being said, guys, I can't pick them to win until I see them get their crap together. 20-24 Rams lose.
Shame,
Because
Ian. Shame.
look it. We went through all the stats. We've seen the film. McVay is a stubborn son of a gun when it comes to play calling. He's been this way for the 7+ years he's been our coach. We've hammered it on this pod gazillion times saying how he abandons the run if something doesn't work out. Look at the last game. Kyron fumbled. He didn't get a carry for a whole quarter after, it felt like. I don't know what the exact time was. It was like 8 or 9 minutes until he got another carry. Ridiculous. Feed your best player on offense currently. So with that, what we've seen for a gazillion years, what we've seen for this season, what the defense has shown. And again, I don't know if Omar Speights is going to be better. We hope so. Are they really going to make that change at D tackle? I don't know. Because I haven't seen it and because I've seen weeks of the same dumb crap going on, how can I pick them to win? Prove it to me, Rams. Prove it to me, Sean McVay and coaching staff. Prove to me that you can finally win a game and not do dumb stuff that leads to losing. So until I see that, I cannot pick them to win this game. And again, 20-24, Rams lose in my predictions. I hope I'm wrong, and I hope to see a change. But again, what we've seen this season, how can I objectively pick them to win the game with everything that's been going on thus far?
What do you have, Paul? Lift us up here.
Yeah, but listen, at least Ian's keeping it 100 though. Listen, you just can't keep going into games and thinking like we'll just show up and we're going to win this game. That's not the way it works. You got to get it done on the field. So I think the Rams should have like 2 goals in this game: is win the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball, right? Lean on your vets, right? You got a veteran O-line, lean on them. You got a veteran running back, lean on them. You got a veteran quarterback, lean on them. You got it. You got defense. The strength of your defense is getting after it, not sitting back. They've been sitting back and they've been getting chewed up. Go get after it. Make something happen. Play with confidence. Find your mojo again. Right. I'm gonna roll Big Blue. I think they're gonna wake up and they're gonna win this game. Get the ball rolling in a positive light. I think they'll win this game by 2 scores. It's gonna be uncomfortable for us, right? But I think they win this game. I think I'm going to go 24-14.
Hey, I hope so. Dang it. I hope so. I'll be a damn football mess if I see if my prediction is correct, right, gentlemen? Paul, I'm hoping, bro. I'm hoping 24-14 is a reality. I'm hoping. What about you, Mark? Shoot.
Okay, this is how I feel about it. I think a lot of the sentiments you're feeling, Ian, could probably be expressed by Raider Nation as well, right? About their team.
Yeah.
Trying to be optimistic here. And I think I'm counting on the Raiders being demoralized. They just lost another great player by trade. They make the quarterback switch. It's just a weird season for the Raiders. There's not a lot to be excited about there. They're professionals. They're going to come to play. But I think the Rams culture, their young players, they're still trying to figure things out. And I think this is the game that maybe they do. And I think the Rams figured out this game, and they're going to get to the quarterback finally. They're going to have some turnovers, and they're going to win big. I'm just trying to be super optimistic here. My score, as I already made the calculations for you, Rams 30, Raiders 13.
Ooh, I hope so, because I will have a football Rams meltdown if we blow this game. And again, I'm predicting it and I'm bracing myself. But if I see it unfold after the bye week, I will not be in a good mood come post game. I just want to put that out there in the universe right now, because we share this fun little stat. Rams started Sean McVay's tenure with a 3-1 record in games after a bye, but they're just 1-2 in the last 3 years. So they're coming off a bye, they'll figure it out. Well, it hasn't gone well in recent memory. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope your scores are correct. I hope the Rams win, even if it's 3-0. Get a damn win. But I got to see it to believe it, and that's just where
Yeah,
I'm at. And hey,
yeah, I feel you, Ian. There's a part of me that kind of like Paul alluded to. The Rams are gonna find a way to mess us up and make it close. I'm just being trying to wish good times upon our Rams. Really, you guys remember the last time they played, right? That was the Baker Mayfield game, right?
that was fun on Thursday.
Yeah, right.
That's when we were really beat up. That's when nobody of relevancy was playing, truthfully, and we still beat them, which was fun. So I hope
Yeah,
we're maybe not nail biting. I hope to win convincingly, but I have to see it to believe it.
yeah. The Rams have had some really fun games against the Raiders from the Rams' perspective recently. They had remember the Marcus Peters 50-yard interception in Oakland? Oh, there he is. And then they had, and I still don't understand how a Jeff Fisher coach team could beat the Raiders 52-0. That was in St. Louis. Just crazy.
Well, like I tell my
Go ahead.
buddies, I mean, bad ownership leads to continuously bad things, and it's no shock the Raiders are in another rebuild after a year and a half. It feels like 2 years. So, hopefully our good ownership and our good coaching or a good head coach can figure it the hell out and beat bad ownership with some bad coaching. So
Yeah,
please,
I seem to remember an incident after that 52-0 win. I think the Rams played the Raiders in the preseason. I think it was in Oakland, and the Oakland fans were getting on the Rams they were beating them in and Trumaine Johnson was was walking along and like just reminding them. I forget how it 52-0, gentlemen, 52-0.
Well, one thing I will say, Antonio Pierce. Yeah, I mean, I'll go on record as saying Raider Nation. He's a good coach. Antonio Pierce is a good coach. I know the players love him, but he's a good coach. I like watching Antonio Pierce on the sideline.
I will say, I don't know. Devontae Adams sure didn't think so. Hall of Fame level player.
Well, that's all right. Well, we'll see Devontae Adams in a couple of weeks because where he wound up. I mean, listen, he's right around the corner over here. He's not that far away.
So this is a question I have, and I don't have the answer. I don't have the data. I don't have the manpower to do the research on this. But how often does a team fire a coach midseason? They look around the room. They hire an interim coach. The team kind of gets rejuvenated, and they have a good run, and then they give him the job. And then how often does that turn out well in the long run, though?
Not often. I mean, let's be real. Devontae Adams and Max Crosby bullied Mark Davis into hiring Antonio Pierce. Remember, there was all the murmurs of like, if this isn't hire, I'll question this isn't this by Adams. Crosby said some stuff about how like he needs to be the guy, or there'll be questions about the direction of the squad. I mean, everyone can look that up and see what they said going into the off season. So again, bad ownership continues to do bad hires, continues to have bad people running the show, and bad seasons continue to unfold for the Raiders. So Rams, get a damn W, or I'll be in a terrible mood come Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, I think they will, Ian. I think they will. This has got to be the week, and hopefully it'll be a relaxing cruise and win. But I have a feeling it's not going to be. Despite my score prediction, there's a part of me that says it's going to be a nail biter.
Sean McVay says they're going to come out swinging, so let's see. It's time to start landing some of those big shots. It's one thing to take the big shots; you got to start landing them. So we'll see what happens. So Ram faithful, we got Big Blues rolling this week. We got the playoff series with the Dodgers. You got the Rams. So hopefully we'll be smiling from ear to ear come Sunday night. But got to keep hope rolling forward, man. That's the only way to get through it. Otherwise, we'll be doing our pre-draft segment very early this year.
Oh no.
God.
Yeah, I've seen.
I'm not ready for Puka power picks yet, bro. Hey.
I already sent my middle linebacker picks to Mark and the crew, Ram Nation.
Yeah, you want us to draft like 7 inside linebackers, right?
Well, we got a
Crazy.
choice of 7. I'll throw it out there right now. That kid from Iowa is a beast, Higgins, man.
Well, I'm still hoping we're drafting in the second half of the first round, but we'll see.
I feel you.
Okay, guys, I think that's it. Nice roundtable. We'll get together late Sunday afternoon, and do a quick reaction video if you guys are available. And then the 2-4 Rams will move on to, they'll be staying at home waiting for the arrival of the Minnesota Vikings for that Thursday night game. That's going to be fun.
Just like AD said, big hits and big rings, baby. Bring the Thunder boys.
Yeah, I know. I have to check not the World Series. I have to check out the how this schedule goes with the Dodgers. Hopefully, there's not a conflict. I have a feeling it's probably already out there. I don't have it handy though, but hopefully, there's not a conflict, and we can enjoy maybe both games back to back. That'd be great. Rams, Dodgers.
Yeah.
Okay, guys.
Again, Dodgers keep winning. Rams bottle some of that winning ways in the atmosphere out here in LA. And start huffing on that to start getting some W's, please. Jesus.
Oh, agreed. You said it, Ian. Okay, guys. Out here from Rams Up. Thanks a lot.
Bleed blue, baby. Bleed blue.
Run the damn ball.
That's going to do it for this episode. Remember, you can reach us at ramsuppodcast@gmail.com. And don't forget about our YouTube channel. Our handle is at laramsup.com. Till next time, keep the horns up, stay safe, and have fun out there.